It's ECSports episode 6 with Dion and Ant. We're going to get into a nice little show. We got a lot of different things to talk about. We're going to throw some finals action at you. We all know who's going to be there. We're going to talk some LeBron. We're going to talk some news of the week. If you guys haven't heard, we'll throw some at you. And then hopefully we can squeeze in some of the Cubbies. As you can see, we got our teams on. So let's roll into it. What you got, Ant?
So I think we could assume, I think we could jump the gun, whatever you want to call it. I think we can say that the finals will be Cleveland and the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, my first question to you, I know you're a big LeBron guy. I'm a big LeBron guy as well.
Mm-hmm.
These teams match up in the finals.
Okay.
What's your matchups? What's your on-floor starting lineup matchups? Who do you see guarding who? More specifically, who do you see on LeBron?
They're going to have to throw everybody at him, but they'll probably start with, I'm not a Golden State guy. Probably have to double-check names. I mean, I know the guys' names. Thompson will probably start on him, or maybe Kevin. Maybe Kevin Durant, so he can get his kryptonite out of the way. LeBron will give it to him. And then they'll probably throw Thompson on him. Obviously, I don't think Steph's ready for that mess. Who's the other two starters? Like,
so
I literally don't like them.
You'll see Draymond, which is
probably
going to be Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
but it's crazy because I agree. I think that Thompson is going to be the guy who first starts on LeBron.
Yeah. They're going to slowly get it into there.
Right.
Because you still got to account for Mr. 42 the other night, Kyrie. I mean,
we know Curry can't guard him.
Okay, so at the end of the day,
it ain't gonna happen.
We got to see what's gonna happen. But at the bounce, you're looking at a different team than last year. Obviously, they came from 3 down last year, so that's without Kevin Durant. We'll see what happens. I was watching First Take, I believe, and apparently LeBron is Kevin Durant's kryptonite. And I look at their head-to-head, and that may be true. Why do you think that is?
Well, I watched the finals.
That Kevin Durant wasn't in.
Right, and I watched the finals that Kevin Durant was in against LeBron.
Okay.
It was a no contest. I think he obliterated him.
Yes.
And personally, here's the thing with this matchup. The thing is that Durant's great on offense.
Mm-hmm.
He's decent at best on defense. The thing is, though, is that LeBron can guard Durant, but Durant can't guard LeBron.
Okay. So
right there alone, you're in for a rough game if you're Durant. I mean,
I just see that this series. I mean, we got all of these Chicago people that, you know, just suck on top of the Golden State bandwagon for some strange reason. They had no one in the entire playoffs to play. They played Portland. What was this, in Memphis?
Portland, Utah,
and freaking San Antonio without their best player, who happens to be a top 3 MVP type of dude. So if you're gonna say, "Oh, they went 12-0," I just see these people on Facebook. And most of them are like chicks. It's so like really. I mean, no offense to women, but I just would love to see where you were 4 years ago, before Steph Curry was on a Drake song. And I'm gonna keep saying that. That's the only reason these people know this dude, because before that, no one talked about Golden State. Yes, they are a very good team, but I just don't see them doing what they have to do to defend the players, the caliber that Cleveland has, which is LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love. Kevin Love's been playing D too. Like, everybody forgets
17 boards.
17 boards
for him, career high.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Cleveland hasn't had a rough go at it either. I think our Bulls probably would have gave them a better series than Boston.
Absolutely, I agree.
As much as much as I hate them right now, but I always got to throw until the basketball season is over. I'm going to throw out how much I hate the Bulls. I love them. That's why I hate them. You can't have a team unless you hate them. I can give you a few reasons why I hate the Bulls, and yes, I'm getting off topic. One is Gar Forman. He's an asshole. He doesn't know what he's doing. He has his job due to the fact that he's a good friend of someone. Does he know basketball? I'm sure he does. And yes, I'm a Chicago fan that has watched the Bulls since a long time. But all I know is that him and Johnny, we just got to restart it, refresh it. And right now, with Cleveland being Cleveland, LeBron is in his 14th year. He's in his freaking prime.
7 finals in a row.
The Bulls just need to realize that no one really wants to come here. Okay? Yes, there's going to be free agents. No, they're not going to want to come here. So we're going to have to build through the draft that we obviously don't really have. So unfortunately, what the deal is, I think Mark Cuban said it last week. He said once they realized they weren't in the finals, they started to tank, which is tough. Like for an owner to say.
It's a good move, to be honest.
Yeah. What do you say to that? Do you tank? Do you with the scheme that they have right now? With the worse you are, the better you are in the lottery.
You're asking me next year do you tank, or should they have tanked this year?
Well, this year and next year. I mean, I thought they should have tanked this year, but
right.
To get to 8th to play,
Right, but at the same time, it's crazy, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree.
He's a Bulls fan, like crazy Bulls.
But
he was telling me like 20 games in, we're going to the playoffs. He's excited. So he's not that dude.
We did go to the playoffs. I want everyone to know that.
8th seed.
Right, but here's my thing, though.
And now we're giving Rondo $14 million. But go ahead.
Right or wrong, though, a healthy Bulls could have got swept last night.
No.
No?
I don't. You're telling me that they would have swept a healthy Bulls team?
I'm telling you that they would have been in position. We would have still been watching them play right now.
The Bulls?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't, with Rondo?
Yeah.
You don't think we could have beat Cleveland one game?
Oh, I think we could have beat them one game.
Yeah. I don't think we would have got swept.
But I don't know. But I do know that I think we would have beat. I know for a fact we would have beat Boston.
Hey,
and I think we would have beat
on the wagon, bro. Like after that, for those first 2 games, and then when I saw Rondo got hurt, never thought I'd say this. Rondo got hurt. I was like, "Fuck, Rondo's hurt," because of what he was doing in
the past 2 games.
Yeah, the past, and unfortunately, that's the way it goes, man. You kill in the games you're supposed to, and you get $14 million. Are you me, or did you think when we were going to the games, like seeing him not even dressed, that he was going to be here next year?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I thought he was a wrap. So it's all about like, okay, Rondo's here.
Right.
So, but back to topic. I mean, I got Cleveland the whole way. I hate Golden State. I've been very adamant on that every show that we've done so far. And people will probably say, well, you hate him. Well, first of all, Kevin Durant, LeBron did it. LeBron didn't do this. Kevin Durant, okay,
up 3-1 last year.
Was up 3-1 against Golden State. He had the chance to get to the finals. His team blew it. So you know what he said? Hey, man, let me get that ball. I'm finna head over to Oakland.
Can't beat him, join him.
So, yeah, LeBron left Cleveland, who he just got tired of freaking doing everything, man. Sometimes you got to freaking like, dang, let me get this weight off my back. I'll be back. And that's what he did. He went to play. Whereas Kevin Durant, he just gave up. He had a dominant player with him, who happens to be the MVP, in my opinion, this year.
100%.
So you can't say LeBron left an MVP player, teammate. You know, Kyrie wasn't there yet. So at the end of the day, it's like, all right, why did you leave, bro? Right. And that's why he's getting a lot of flack. So at the end of the day, that's why I don't like Golden State. Steve Kerr's a traitor. Fuck you, Steve Kerr. You were Bulls. Now you're there. So damn you too. So at the end of the day, I'm looking at Cleveland in 7. It's going to go 7.
I think it's going 7.
Yeah, gotta go. It's going to be very entertaining.
I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's a shame that the prior playoff games are so bad, but everybody knows the finals are going to be live. Man.
Yeah, finals are always good, especially with LeBron's in there. So let's talk about we had some things going on this week. First and foremost, our old buddy Derrick Rose is being talked about to be recruited over to Tibbs in Minnesota. What's your thought process of that?
I think it's dumb.
Why?
Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of Ricky Rubio at all.
Okay, obviously neither is Tibbs.
But I am a huge fan of Chris Dunn.
Okay.
And while I'm not the biggest fan of Rubio, I think he's a pretty good player. He's all right.
Okay.
But I think Dunn has a lot of potential. I just don't. I see almost the Bulls times 2 with 3 point guards.
Rubio's got to be gone though.
I don't know. He's supposed to be gone every year. I would get rid of Rubio immediately right now while he's still got a little bit of work.
Though. He does have a little work, but no one. He has a contract left, doesn't he? His contract isn't that small.
No, he's making money.
Yeah, so that's probably
he's making money. He's making money for sure, but at the same time, I don't see. Derrick Rose did have a pretty good year last year.
18-7.
18-7, yeah. But I don't see.
But he tore his meniscus. Tore that meniscus again.
The thing is I do see another team picking him up because he had a good year, and because a meniscus is not that serious, and because he's filthy rich.
He stated that on his interview. For some reason, he was in what is it called? Utah. And for some reason, they didn't say why. And he said, I made enough money to live twice or something.
Right.
Yeah. So he isn't shy about the money that he's made and the money that he's going to make. So he wants to win right now.
And that's the thing. If you want to win, you get your agent going and you say, we're not going to Minnesota. It's not happening.
His agent happens to be B.J. Armstrong.
Right. Horrible.
Yeah.
That team's rebuilding. I do think they're going to be good in the future, but he's got, with all the injuries he has and all the money he has, he's got no time to wait around. It's just not a good fit for him. So I just disagree.
Okay. So I mean, I like the fact that Tibbs is still looking out for him. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. We got a comment. Anthony can read this one. Is that true?
We're not going to read this one.
Yeah, he doesn't want. It was a Derrick
But
Rose
we have
comment.
an angry Rose fan.
Yeah.
Who used a word that started with a B and ended with an H.
Yeah.
And
in the middle, it's
And he always has been.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm never gonna do that. I'm never gonna dog my boy because he almost got us to the finals. So you're one of those people too that think he's that guy?
I don't.
Okay.
I
So
don't.
you respect what he did for us?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've had this discussion before. I'm not the kind of person you ride the guy when he's high and you kick him down when he's low.
Yeah.
The way he went about some of those situations after they occurred, I wasn't the biggest fan of. But we cannot blame anyone in human society for getting injured.
Yeah.
Especially a serious injury.
Very
if you
serious.
get a little bit of an injury and there's a possible chance you could play and you just milk it for a long time, then I understand. But if you're completely immobile, you have a serious injury like your knee, ACL, like that, I mean, what can you do?
What can you do? And if you think about, I always go to the team that almost got to, there's two teams. There's the Boston team that we played. Remember the Boston series? Probably one of the greatest series
best
ever.
I've ever seen, yeah.
Tibbs was the coach, right?
Right.
I'm going to give you two scenarios. Tibbs was the coach of that team. I'm going to name some players off of there. Joakim Noah, Luol Deng, Ben Gordon, Derrick Rose, Kirk Heinrich. And then I'm going to go to the other team. Wasn't John Salmons on their team too?
John
Salmons. I know my Bulls. And then there was that series where LeBron hit the shot in the corner.
We were up.
We were up
2-1, about to be
3-1. Derrick Rose was doing his thing.
Big shot.
Yes.
In
Got
game
Derrick,
3,
Dane, Rich Hamilton. Was it Rich Hamilton? No, that was when Derrick tore his ACL.
Yeah, Rip Hamilton was on that team.
I forgot who was the 2 guard for us, but Jimmy was on that team.
That was like I remember that was like a crazy year where like Heinrich was playing the 2. And, you know, there was a lot of dudes.
So the reason I bring that up is, where are these players now?
Yeah,
Joakim Noah back, might be retiring. Luol Deng is at the end of the Lakers bench getting paid. But they got worked, man. Tibbs worked them to dust. And Cubs win.
5-4, wow.
Tibbs worked the hell out of them. But who's left, bro? Rose is still playing. When he was sought after to be like, oh, he's done. And then you got Jimmy Butler, freaking...
And Gibson.
And Taj Gibson, yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like those guys got worked to death, man. Like Noah, he can't even walk anymore. His freaking back is just... His back is done, man. So you gotta give it up to Rose for still fighting. I just want to see the guy do good. Hopefully it's not in Minnesota. Hopefully he goes to a team that he can, back up, but legit back up, really help out. I think Cleveland really needs a nice backup guard.
Right.
But if he wants to win, and if it's not about money, or he can go, somewhere on the upswing, a team that's on the upswing that, with him added coming off the bench with a nice 12 and 5, something like that. And I never thought I'd be saying this. I'm sure you haven't either. That, man, are we going to be talking about Derrick Rose in 5 years? About being a backup, but that's the tough part about injuries, man. You can only do so much with it. I could
see him retiring before then, to be honest.
You don't think he wants to be a backup?
I think he wants to be a backup for maybe 3 years at most.
Mm-hmm. I think he still wants to play. I don't know if he wants. He didn't really acknowledge if he wanted to be a backup though.
Right.
So.
And I think he's extremely body conscious, and again, he's got enough money to where he can stop.
Yeah, and he's very body conscious.
I just don't see as a backup.
Yeah, that'll be the tough thing to look at.
Right.
So. Another thing this week I noticed is Odell Beckham just signed a Nike deal. Supposedly the highest ever shoe deal for an NBA player. He's getting a 5-year, $25 million. 5 years, $25 million situation.
Right.
Odell Beckham Jr.
You said NBA,
okay.
not NFL.
Yeah, NFL. Sorry, my producer is helping me out here. So, with that being said, why is there such a discrepancy between LeBron pretty much having a lifetime deal and Durant, he just signed a $30 million per year deal, which is higher than Beckham's entire contract? Why is there such a discrepancy with NFL and NBA?
Again, I think the same rules apply as far as NFL contracts.
Because he's making more with Nike right now than his own.
Right.
With the Giants.
And that's because...
He's making $1.8 million with the Giants,
right.
by the way.
And that's because the life expectancy of the sport, of the player in the sport, excuse me. So, of course, NBA, I don't care what sport you play, you could get hurt. But obviously, you're more at risk to get hurt when you're running into people purposely.
Yeah. But he's a receiver. You
right.
know, those are the more...
No, I agree. But I think that a lot of these companies are not going to say, they're going to give the basketball guy or the baseball guy the major, advertisement, shoe deal, marketing, etc. But
I mean,
the NFL guy...
He has the look, he's the...
Right.
The poster boy, so to speak.
But then you
isn't it off of one catch?
You got to think about this. I mean, he's elite.
He's a beast.
But here's the thing. The NFL players are not, if you think about it entirely, they're not major marketable like they do with the other sports. I mean, here, let's take Tom Brady, for example, right?
Okay.
Best quarterback of all time, in my opinion. He's the face of the NFL forever, him and Manning, you know?
Yeah.
Now, Manning was on a couple commercials, but Tom Brady?
And I saw Manning, like, after he was done more.
Exactly.
Really?
But, like, Tom Brady, you don't see him on TV unless they're talking about football. Or, like,
weird.
maybe his wife says some dumb shit.
Yeah.
And then they bring him up. But it's, like, insane to me that they don't really... like, you could see 15 NBA guys on a commercial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got so many marketable NBA commercials where the NFL has, like, maybe 3 guys that they ever use. I remember it was, like, Clay Matthews, Troy Polamalu, Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Troy Polamalu's hair, Clay Matthews' hair, Peyton Manning
Odell Beckham's hair. He's got a Head and Shoulders deal. It's like Head and Shoulders gives these guys contracts, but you got a guy
That's
like
it. It's like the only
Tom
company.
Brady that you can market like crazy, and you just don't. You know, I
He's
saw
off-
Cam Newton.
He's off to the side doing UGG commercials that nobody sees.
I saw Cam Newton in a couple, but they're not really pushing it. I don't know if it's because America has... a good friend of mine calls it the pussification of America. If they just trying to keep football away because, like, everything's changing, man. When we grew up, football was football. You know, it was smash mouth football. You know what you're getting into when you play it. You know, people are like, oh, you let your son play it? Yeah, because he wants to play.
Right.
Obviously, if anything bad happens, I'm not going to let him continue to play, but, you know, it's all about safety. You don't just go out there and throw your head into somebody. Not saying that anything else can't happen, but, you know, the sport is a sport. It's a sport. You can get hurt in freaking golf. Ask Tiger Woods. So you got to be patient when you talk about football because of the major things that have been happening. So that's probably why a lot of people haven't seen, you know, a lot of the marketing towards it. But I just feel like a guy, especially just his age alone, Tom Brady should be way more marketable than they're doing.
Right, and I mean his intelligence, everything. That's another thing. It's crazy, you know.
So, but that's that. And then Chris Bosh, he is finally going to split with Miami after being out a year with the blood clot situation. If you're an NBA team, do you sign Chris Bosh? He's an all-star.
I do.
You do, regardless of the situation.
Yeah.
So you think the Bulls will do that? Because I heard that he wants to come here.
I know. So did I.
Because this is the Bulls' life.
It's the MO right here.
Let me help you with what the Bulls do.
This is it.
Okay? I'll go all the way back to who was it? Brad Miller. Did we draft Brad Miller? No, we got a trade from Sacramento.
From Sac. Ben Wallace.
Ron Mercer.
Wade. Rondo.
Dwayne Wade. Rondo. So if you guys understand what we do, we get has-beens. Rip Hamilton. We get has-beens that have had a name, and we want to bring them in at the end of their glory. That's what the Bulls do. So expect to have a starting lineup with Chris Bosh in it. We might even get Brandon, what's his name from LA Clippers? He's falling off too. What's his name? The high flyer that's tore his knee. Blake Griffin. I mean, let's just bring them all here. You know, Rondo at the point. Bring D-Wade. Bring D-Wade back. You know, we're going to have a team full of has-beens, man. That's what the Bulls do. We can get a bench, you know, have Scotty on the side over there cheering them on. That's what the Bulls do, man. I hate to say it, but, you know, we're going to add Chris Bosh to the mix. As a team, I don't know if Miami is being super cautious or they just want to get rid of that high-ass contract, which, from my knowledge, that's the main thing that Pat Riley wants to do.
It has to
What
be.
do you think it is?
I think that has to be it, and I think it's a really smart move, obviously, for Miami to just part ways. They've had a lot of success with Chris Bosh, but at the same time, I think it's time to move on, especially with what's going on here. And then, you know, in general, it's a huge liability as an organization to take on the responsibility of someone who's not 100% healthy.
Yeah.
And then when you're talking about that kind of money in general, I think it's just time to move on.
I just feel like they bring names in, and they want us to, as a fan base, to be like, look what we're doing. You know, we brought Dwayne Wade in 5 years late. We brought Rajon Rondo in 2-3 years late. It's like, when are these guys going to realize that we can't keep bringing has-beens in?
Right. They're not going to realize it, though, because the thing is that they're never going to realize it because the fans continue to go based off the names that are on the floor. You know as well as I do that 70% of the fans who aren't knowledgeable are going to be like, did you hear we got Chris Bosh? And then they're all going to show up to the arena, and they're going to say, we got a chance this year. We got Rondo, Wade, Butler, Bosh, Lopez.
That's what they said this year.
You know what I mean?
We got D Wade. We got Flash.
Right.
And that's the perfect example of the Chicago fan, a nominal Chicago fan that's going to say, did we really get Chris Bosh?
Right.
Holy crap. And then if they say we got Blake Griffin, they're going to say we're going to the finals. Watch out, LeBron. And that's what they're going to do. Because that's the Chicago fan base. So we just saw that the Cubs won 5-4. They're on the upswing. What's your thought process on that?
If you guys watched the last show, what I said was, I'm not going to panic whatsoever. I don't think anybody should panic. At the time of our last show, we were 21-20, something around there, 40-41 games, however you want to take it. The thing is that, like I said, if we are struggling at the end of July, run for cover, because you're going to hear everybody talking about how bad we are, we choked, last year was a fluke, blah, 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 blah. But
Sox, fuck out of here.
We are on the upswing already in June, heading into June. July, we're only going to go up. Rizzo's getting hot. Ian Happ hit 2 tonight. Ian Happ is just so much plate discipline for a young guy. He's awesome. Eddie Butler's pitching tomorrow. He had a great first outing. The second outing, he got in a little bit of trouble, which is expected. But I think that the Cubs are right where they want to be right now. I think that right now, see, a lot of people, again, this goes for the true Cub fan. Last year, World Series team. This year, we bring back a lot of the same names, but a lot of new names. And I think that the chemistry is finally setting in as to where everyone's starting to feel comfortable with one another. They're starting to gel. I would like to see Schwarber get out of the 1 slot. I think that's just a terrible position for a slugger.
It's time to move that.
It's kind of, plate. It's defensive at the plate for a guy who with such a big stick like that. I don't think he should be on the defense as much.
Yeah, Zobrist should. He's doing well there right now. So it's the skipper. He likes to make sure that everybody understands his point. So he likes to go a little further with that.
Sometimes it's a little too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, he overcoaches sometimes, but that's the skipper. He got us a ring, so
absolutely
not going to dog him. So with all that being said, that's the end of the show. We're going to be back next week on time at 9:30.
Absolutely, 9:30.
9:30 every Wednesday. Check us out, and we finally are going to download all of our podcasts. You can hear all 6 episodes, including us moving forward.
Guys, it's extremely simple. Go on if you have an iPhone, the podcast iPhone standard app that comes with the phone.
Little purple icon.
Search bar, ECSports. You'll be able to see all the episodes. You'll be able to listen to them. Check them out on Thursday mornings on your way to work.
Yep.
As far as Android users, check out Spreaker, the Spreaker app. I am not really familiar. I'm not an Android guy, but it's the same thing. Click on the Spreaker app. Search ECSports. When you see the half faces of each of us, you'll know where you're at.
All right. Thanks, guys.